Hey y'all. So it has been like 3 years since I have posted a video up. And like, I'm not even playing. Y'all have no idea how many times I've made videos and just did not post them for whatever the reason. But this time around, I'm actually more than likely going to go ahead and post this. So if you see this video, then yeah, I decided to go ahead and post it. What is going on with me? So first off, let me backtrack a little bit and pretty much give y'all an update about the previous dude that I was dealing with 3 years ago, who did not give me anything for Christmas. No, we did not stay together. Yes, we broke up and he moved out of my apartment. And honestly, I could not be happier because that guy was just making me so freaking miserable. And, there was just a shift in our relationship. And, it just wasn't working out. Have I seen him again since then? Yes, I have. What was the vibe like when I seen him? What happened when I seen him? This dude was acting like he was in love with me. You know what I mean? Giving me these tight ass hugs and just kind of like all up on me and all of this shit. But it's like he had changed like physically. He had put on like a massive amount of weight. Like to the point where I just was not even attracted to him anymore. I just kind of felt like, oh my God, this was a mistake. Get the fuck out of here. Like, change my mind. Not gonna happen. So yeah, that's what happened with that. So the last time I've seen him, I would say it's been maybe about like a good year and a half since I've seen him. Do I miss him? Not at all. Do I want him back? Do I want to reach out to him? No, not at all. I'm good. I'm good on that 100%. So anyway, what has been going on since then? I have been seeing some other dude, some new guy, but I mean, literally, this shit is already done. I feel like my camera's crooked. Y'all just bear with me. Y'all know I don't have all the professional lighting and all that stuff. Like, I'm just a real person coming to y'all talking about my stuff because, apparently the last time when I told my story, it got some feedback, some good feedback. And apparently there were a lot of other people who were going through the same thing that I had gone through. And I mean, if it's interesting, like, whatever, I'll share it. Like, I have no problems with that. So, whatever. I feel like it's been 3 years, so I'm just going to come back and let you guys know what's going on. Plus, this new situation that I had, situationship, it was just so freaking crazy. I feel like somebody has got to know about this. So, I met this guy off of one of those dating apps. I don't want to say which one it was. It doesn't really matter. When I first met him, honestly, y'all, I'm telling you, I wore some baggy mom jeans out. I wore my dirty little kids. I had on like a little crop hoodie. I was not trying to dress to impress. I really didn't care. Recently I've been only dating white guys. This guy, when I first saw his picture, I'm thinking, okay, he's black, but he's just light skinned. Turned out he happened to be half black, half white, whatever. But honestly, like, I just know how much stuff that black guys have taken me through. So I just feel like, I don't really have much faith in this. I just kind of really wanted some action, maybe a free date, free dinner, free drinks. I don't want to be that chick, but I was lonely. I wanted to get out of the house. These guys out here these days in 2022, they don't want relationships. You know what I mean? So it's just like, sometimes I use them the same way that they use me, to have some comfort, to have, just somebody to be around, somebody to talk to, somebody to cuddle, somebody to kiss me, somebody to hold me, somebody to give me some loving. Like, if that's the only way that I can have it these days, then, you know what I mean? It's just like, if you can't beat them, join them. What else am I going to do? But anyway, so we ended up going out to this bar and grill to meet. We sat at the bar. He was a little bit late. Turns out he had to take an Uber. As we talked more, I found out that he does not live in the same state that I do. He lives like 2.5 hours away. I found out that, he's down here, for work. He works as an electrician, and sometimes his company sends him to like different states, but all, kind of within the same area. You know what I mean? Like pretty close together, like maybe less than a 3-hour drive. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, whatever. He doesn't live here. He's a visitor. So this probably is not going to go anywhere. But, whatever. I'm just going to get out the house, get some free drinks, get some food, get some company for the night, and just call it a day. So we actually ended up hitting it off pretty well. He was cute. He was cute. He was funny. He was charming. He was real. Like, I had developed like a connection with him where it almost felt like we knew each other already, you know what I mean? So fast forward to end of the night, the next day, whatever. I wasn't expecting to excuse me, I wasn't expecting to ever hear from him again. I knew he had to go back to the state that he lived like the very next day after we had met. So I really wasn't expecting to ever hear from him again. I wasn't expecting to talk to him anymore. Like I didn't know what I was expecting. So anyway, the next day he ended up hitting me up and, you know, just to say good morning and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, okay, you know, whatever. So that pretty like us kind of talking, texting or whatever, talking on the phone, that kind of went on for like the entire week. When we ended up talking and he had mentioned something about how I seemed so nonchalant and he didn't like that. And I was telling him, you know, I feel like I want to keep a lid. You know, I'm trying to think of the right words to say. I was trying to say limit, lock, or lid, but all of the above. I was trying to keep my emotions intact and not sit here and be like, oh my God, I like this guy so much. He's so this, he's so that. And just let my heart get ahead of my head and get ahead of myself to the point where emotionally I'm up here on with him. And then everywhere else, I'm down here. And it's just, I'm having that imbalance. I'm battling with myself. I'm having trouble trying to bring everything together. I did not want that. So I'm just like, you know, I'm just going to keep my emotions on lock for now. You know, he's cool. I like talking to him. But, you know, just kind of see how things go. Because history has shown us that sometimes these guys can be completely full of crap. So I just did not want to be, you know, another victim to this game, this 2022 version of dating. I did not want to be another victim to that. So, you know, he ended up coming back that same weekend and we hung out again. You know, he's been around my kids. He's been around my mom. Like, well, when he met my mom, you know, she just kind of happened to walk in or whatever. Like, she's got a key to my place. So she just happened to walk in while he was here one of those times. And, like, of course, I did not want any of that to happen so soon. But, you know, it happened. He just kind of rolled with the punches. He walked straight up to her and held out his hand, introduced himself. And I was just like, oh, okay, you can hold your own. Okay, you know, whatever. But, so like, fast forward. So I think maybe I would say about 4 weeks into it, that's when we officially became a couple. It had been an issue for me trying to figure out what we're doing, because I kept telling him, I don't want to sit here and be spending all this time with somebody, liking somebody, talking to somebody every single day, sleeping with someone, and you expect for me not to have any type of connection to you, not to feel like I want more. I need to know where this is going. You know, just kind of like women and men, we are not built the same. So like all of the sneaky links for women, it's just BS. Like, let's be honest with it, because you will develop feelings for this guy. Do not sit here and ever go after no guy who, you know, good guy daggone well that you're going to end up liking a lot, but he does not want a relationship. Because I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to like him a lot. He's not going to want a relationship. If he actually does give you a relationship, it's going to be BS. Example. So we finally decided to go ahead and become a couple. The same exact week we became a couple, I kid you not, this guy just started acting up. He just started freaking weaning me off of him. You know what I mean? He just started disappearing. He started to text me less and less and less. Like, he used to text me first thing in the morning, every single morning. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, blah, blah, blah. And when I text him back, like 9 times out of 10, he would just call me. And we would be on the phone for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and then of course, you know, we talked throughout the day, text messages, calling each other. Have you eaten? Did you eat lunch? You good? Blah, blah, blah. And then at nighttime, you know, oh, how was your day? This was my day. Blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm doing. And then like, sometimes we would literally just be FaceTiming. We would just be on the phone, not even talking about nothing, just being on the phone with each other. You know what I mean? And every couple of minutes we'll get into a conversation about something. But it's just like, I had so much of him in the beginning. That shit was amazing. I want to pull up something on this computer because I was researching something yesterday because I actually believe that he's a narcissist. And I was researching something yesterday about the 3 stages of I'm like tongue-tied. Narcissistic people. Let me see if I can bring it up right now. But yeah, so that's pretty much exactly what was going on. Love bombing me. Constantly giving me compliments. He just seemed to be so perfect with my children, so comfortable around my mom. He made all of these plans about how I'm gonna take you here, I'm gonna take you there, I'm gonna send you some money to get some groceries, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pay for that, oh, I'm gonna pay to get you a facial, blah blah blah, I'm gonna pay to get your nails done. He did all of that shit, like really making me think like, oh my god, this person actually gives a hell about me. Because these days, like I said, with this 2022 dating, you date guys and they really don't give a crap about you, you know what I mean? But it's like when you have a guy who's like consistent, talks to you every single day, brings up your kids and wants to check on you guys and see how everything is going, it's crazy. But honestly, now that I think back to everything, like that was literally the bare minimum. Because it's like I'm so used to guys not being consistent, not actually caring about me, that when the first person that came along and actually showed an ounce of that, I fell for it. I was like, oh my god, he's so perfect, he's so different from every other guy. It's just straight BS. So anyway, I found what I was talking about. So the 3 phases of narcissism, don't make fun of me, y'all, I'm really trying. And I'm going to go in order here. The first phase is idealize. And that is what I was talking about with being so charming, just seeming like he's just the most perfect guy, giving me all of these compliments. Like we sat in bed one time and we gave each other massages while we talked to each other. Like, just, you know, massaging each other, like taking turns giving each other a hand massage, arm massage, back massage. And like we just fucking, sorry, like we just talked. And being so used to these hit it and quit it guys, these guys that got so many females going on, I'm telling you, just that little bit of attention and sensualness, you know, and just phones was off. Nobody was hitting anybody up. And it just, like, those were the moments that I actually felt like, oh my god, like this, I've never done this with anybody before. Like I've basically must have had my standards so freaking low. But anyway, I'm going to read a little bit of this just so you guys can kind of understand more in depth with what I'm talking about the whole idealize phase. So let me see here. In the beginning of a romantic relationship with a person affected by narcissism, an individual may describe the initial infatuation stage as otherworldly. The emotional one, noxosos, I don't know what that is, lasts a few weeks. So basically that high off of being with somebody new, it lasts a few weeks, months, or in some cases a year or slightly more. Mine lasted like 2 weeks. Targets of narcissistic abuse report feeling as if they have found their soulmates and can't believe their good fortune that this seductive Kurtzian, whatever, why can't they speak English, has elevated them to a soaring heights upon a pedestal. Love bombing is a phrase describing this stage in which the narcissistic person may smother the target with praise, courting, intense sex, vacation promises of a future together, and designation essentially as the most special person ever. That's what I got, y'all. He was talking about moving down here and all this stuff. Like, he really made me believe he could be the one. Like, this may actually work out. So I'm just gonna keep going here a little bit. And then let me see. Blah, 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 blah. The person with narcissism often may begin subtly, insidiously, whatever, I'm probably not pronouncing, I'm just start skipping over the words I can't pronounce because this is embarrassing, and covertly to devalue his or her significant other. That is when we get into the second phase of narcissistic behavior, the devaluation of a person, you know. And this may happen via put downs, gaslighting, intermittently lacking emotional or physical intimacy, withdrawing affection, seductive withholding, and inexplicably disappearing from contact, or blaming the target for the narcissistic person's issues. So that is also something that began to happen. Let me backtrack a little bit. Put downs. He started to just be so freaking mad at me every time we talked on the phone. You're being crazy. You're being whiny. You're acting up, this, that, and the other. And he was making those statements because I was trying to understand, why are you disappearing? Like, what happened with us talking every day? You know, I miss talking to you. And it's like, it's not like that I was coming at him hard. Oh, I know you with some other chick, blah, blah, blah. I didn't do none of that. I was just kind of like, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, I miss talking to you. We used to talk every single day. Now it's just kind of like good morning and good night. And I was literally just trying to understand what's happening right now. And he got so freaking angry at me, just yelling, cursing me out, all the type of stuff, talking about that I would be tripping, I would be acting crazy. And I knew that I wasn't, but he accused me so much and made me feel in a way that I actually began to question my own sanity. I used to question my own reality. Like, am I being crazy? Am I asking for too much? Like, that's how they get you. They'll literally, and you know what's crazy? He used to say I have terrible communication, but I feel like it was never that I had terrible communication. It's just that I was expressing to you what it is that I needed in order for me to continue to feel secure and happy in this relationship. And because he's a freaking narcissist, he took it as, oh, I'm being whiny, I'm complaining, I'm overly sensitive, I'm being dramatic, all that type of stuff. That's how that just translates to them. So anyway, you know, the gaslighting, perfect example. So I drove almost 3 hours just for one overnight trip to go and see him. When I got there, like, first of all, I started calling him about, okay, let me backtrack a little bit more. This day, we spoke in the morning twice, and then we spoke again like around 4 something in the afternoon, because I knew he didn't get off until like around 7, so I'm just like, you know, whatever. So we spoke later in the afternoon. When we spoke in the afternoon, he made it clear, like, yeah, come on up, that's fine, whatever. This is the street that I'm close to, blah, blah, blah. Didn't want to give me an address of where he lives or where he's staying. And then me being stupid, I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. I just found a hotel close to this street name, whatever this random street name is. So everything was fine basically before I got on the road around 4 o'clock. Fast forward to, you know, about 7 o'clock. I'm about 20 minutes away from the hotel. I'm starting to call him, letting him know, because he's supposed to be off work by now. So I'm calling him, letting him know, like, hey, I'm getting close, blah, blah, blah. He never answered the phone. I kid you not, y'all. I'm telling you, I called this guy like 13 times before he answered the phone. Listen, when he actually answered the phone, that was one of those phone calls where it's like you had just been calling somebody and calling them and calling them. And then you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to call you one more time. One more time. And if you don't answer, like, that's just not going to be good. Like, I'm just going to have to own up to the situation. I'm just going to have to accept what's happening here. So whatever. That very last time I decided to call him, that's when he answers the phone. At first, he's being all chilled. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm here. And he's quiet for a minute. And he's like, here, and he said the city and state that he lives in. And I'm like, yeah, like, and when I said yeah, I'm like, we just talked about this a couple of hours ago. Like, yeah, I'm here. And I'm telling you, his very first reaction was just like disappointment. Almost like, what are you doing here? Almost like, I told you not to come here. But he never told me not to come. He never gave me a hint that he didn't want me to come, or that it wouldn't be a good idea for me to come. It was weird. That was when he started to tell me, you know, I don't even know if I want to see you right now because you've been acting crazy all day. And I'm saying, it escalated so freaking quickly. And I'm just listening on the phone like, huh? What are you talking about? Like, I'm acting crazy how? Like, because I was so confused because we had just talked to each other like around just a couple of hours ago, right before I got on the road. So, of course, I'm super confused when I get there and I call you to tell you I'm here and you're yelling at me. You're mad at me. You're talking about how I've been doing all this, that, and the other all day long. And I'm just like, none of this came out the very last conversation that we had before I got on the road. So I'm just kind of confused how now that I am here, now we need to go ahead and start an argument. Now you need to be mad at me. And I really feel like he was gaslighting me. I really feel like he wanted me to, you know, interact with his argument. He wanted me to get upset and he wanted me to do all this stuff, but I'm just not about that life. I don't do all that arguing stuff with guys. I mean, you know, it gets me nowhere. It's crazy. It's dramatic. It's hectic. It's stressful. It's draining. It's emotional. I don't want to I don't want to freaking argue with somebody who I'm trying to be with. I'm trying to come and see you. I'm trying to spend some time with you. I don't want to argue with you. I just don't want to do that. If you do something that I don't like, I shut down. I have nothing to say. I do not want to freaking argue with you. I would rather come and talk to you when I'm in a headspace of feeling like I'm ready for resolution, not feeling like I'm angry and now it's time to go ahead and get this on and pop it, and he going to hit me today. And I don't do that stuff. Like, I don't like it. I grew up with that stuff. People arguing all the time around me, you know, drunken nights, cops come in, and I'm an adult. I'm an adult now, and I'm not going to have that for my children. I'm not going to have that for myself. I don't want it. It's just messy. It's nasty. If you want to talk and you want to work something out, we do that. But the yelling and screaming and cursing and fussing and all of this other craziness and whatnot, like I did that a lot with my ex-boyfriend that didn't give me anything for Christmas. And look where it got us. Nowhere. We never worked anything out. Nobody ever felt like that was wrong. It was just no resolution. And that's just not the person that I want to be. That's not the situation that I want to have in my life. And at this point in my life, like I'll do everything I can to avoid it because I just don't want it. So he finally calmed down and I finally went to pick him up. He just got out of jail in freaking November. And I know that some of y'all right now is like, well, he just got out of jail, girl. And you still dealing with him? Like, that's just how good he is at being a freaking narcissist. Like I found out a lot of stuff after I kind of already liked him. And so by then, with me liking him for who he is, it was hard for me to just be like, you know what? Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. I can't deal with it. No. I was just more like, well, maybe we could work it out. Well, maybe if I just knew a little bit more details and, well, you know, he was young. And I started making all these freaking excuses for him. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the third stage of the narcissistic behavior. This is what happened after I picked him up. The rejection, the rejection. Actually, it kind of tethered when I finally picked him up. So let's go ahead and get into details. When I picked him up, like, I just felt like I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to walk on eggshells. I was walking on eggshells. I didn't want to say anything. I was afraid to upset him and get him all mad again and then try to get into an argument with me again. And like, I didn't know what to say. But when I saw him, like, he just acted like a completely different person. Like, telling me, because I'm driving, he's in the passenger side, and he's like, I didn't want to yell at you like that. Don't make me yell at you like that. Grabs my face. Don't do that. I don't want to have to do that to you, blah, blah, blah. To the point where I'm thinking just like, okay, yes, okay. Like, it was my fault. It was my fault that you yelled at me because of, I have no idea. Like, he really was like sinking his teeth into me, y'all. I'm telling you. And for me to be such a freaking strong woman who I know who I am, and I know I do not have to put up with no BS. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you know. And he just had me like lost in the sauce. I was really lost in the sauce with him. But, it was when we got back to the hotel room where I kind of really realized, like, this is going to be the last time I'm going to deal with this person. Because he's giving me so much of that third stage of narcissism, of that, rejection, and the, tethering in the second stage of devaluing me. That first stage, we're just completely past that. Like, you're not being nice. You're not being sweet. You're not being charming. You don't check on me. You don't call me. You don't text me. Like, when I came back from dropping him off, like I said, 3-hour drive. So I'm driving by myself. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I almost fell asleep on the road like 3 times. I kid you not. Like, I literally almost fell asleep several freaking times. Did he bother to text me, call me, FaceTime me, check on me, just to make sure that I made it back home safe to my family? Make sure I didn't get into an accident or anything like that? No. I have not seen or heard from him since I dropped him off. So I drove home by myself. I went the entire rest of the day. And I got home about like 8 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Went through the whole rest of the day without any type of communication with him. It is now, what time is it? It's 11:43 the very next day. And mind you, he gets up at 5 a.m. every single morning. Every morning when he used to text me, it was never after 7 a.m. It was always 5 o'clock, 5:43, 6:30, never after 7 a.m. But now, it's almost 12 o'clock. It's been over 24 hours since he has spoken to me now. And it's crazy because it's like, he doesn't give me any type of inkling that, well, by his words and how he is with me in person, like, he doesn't give me any type of inkling that it's just BS. Like, we kissed when we last saw each other. He told me, I'm going to call you in a little bit. And that was it. Like, now he's completely gone ghost. So the very last stage of rejection, let me freaking pull this up so I can go into a little bit more detail about this. All right. Ultimately, the person with narcissism discards his or her dating partner who served as a source of narcissistic supply to fuel the ego of the individual with narcissistic issues. When the target asks for compromise, reciprocity, empathy, integrity, honesty, and boundaries, all healthy and valid requests that people with extreme narcissistic qualities do not engage in, the person with narcissism may decide that the target has lost his or her luster and is tarnished. Basically, no longer the perfect partner. Inevitably, the discarding occurs when the person with the narcissism either disappears or orchestrates his or her own abandonment by engaging in some form of emotional abuse. The outcome is often shocking for the survivor, unclear as to somehow that he or she fell so deeply in love. The person as to how someone that he or she fell so deeply in love with could just throw it all away. Because, I thought we were vibing. Like, I thought we was, you know what I mean? Like, and the craziest part is, like, honestly, he did me a favor. Because knowing the type of person that I am, I have a big heart. And it's like, I don't want to let my guard down with guys because I don't want to get hurt. And I feel like once he realized that I did go ahead and let my guard down for him and that I became vulnerable, that's when he just completely switched up on me and just became this whole other person, berating me, yelling at me, mad at me all the time, like just all types of crap, you know what I mean? And I feel like it was a game for him, you know? Like, he wanted to be able to see me as a challenge and feel like, you know what? I bet you I could break her down. And he may have succeeded, you know, whatever. But I finally opened up my eyes and I finally realized, and it's like just as quickly as I can let my guard down, I can build my walls right back up. So basically, this video is getting long, so I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of wrap it up. But yeah, I have not reached out to him. I'm not going to text him. I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Though I do still have strong feelings for this freaking idiot. I have come to the conclusion that this type of relationship is toxic and it's only going to hurt me in the end, and it's not going to be good for my kids. So I'm not going to be with somebody who wants to do the hot and cold with me, and then when you get cold, it's somehow my fault. I did something wrong, even when I didn't. If you feel like me asking about spending time with you, trying to figure out when am I going to see you, we live in 2 different states. Is it wrong for me to ask questions and try to figure out, okay, well, what's the plan? You're not talking to me. You're not willingly calling me and being like, hey, babe, listen, I just got my new schedule. This is what's going to be. I'm going to be in here this week, blah, blah, blah. I'll be in here. You're not giving me any of that stuff. And honestly, if he really wanted to do that, he would volunteer that information. You know what I mean? Just for the simple fact that he's disappeared has told me all that I need to know. So, yeah, like I'm upset. I'm sad. I'm going to freaking miss him. I really did like him, but it's fake. It's fake. You know what I mean? That person that he was to get me is obviously not who he truly is, because he cannot maintain me being himself. So, it's fake, and that's okay. You know, it is what it is. I've learned my lesson. Keep that guard up. Keep that guard up. And, just don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, that too. Don't sit here and really start mentally imagining some type of future in life with some guy, all because he remembers the name of your kids or some crap like that, you know? At the end of the day, he just turned out not to be the right person for me. And narcissists, they usually come back. Honestly, I thought about this morning in the shower. I'm not even going to block his number because I want to see how long it takes him to reach out to me. And I kid you not, I bet my life he will not call me today or text me today. He might not even call me and text me tomorrow. But I guarantee you, when he brings his butt back down to South Carolina, my state where I live in or whatever, he's going to think about me and he's going to miss me. He's going to miss the fact that I will come over, pick him up from his shitty hotel that his job put him up in, and I will bring him over to my place and he would get food and drink. He get to do his laundry. He get coochie. He get all of that stuff. You know what I mean? He get a nice chill vibe. Like, he's going to miss me, and that's okay. Like, I want that satisfaction of knowing he reached back out to me. And I guarantee when he does reach out to me, I'm not going to call him. I'm not going to answer his phone, text messages. I'm not going to do any of that stuff because I gave you an opportunity to be my man. You know, technically we're still boyfriend, girlfriend. We're just not talking anymore. That mess is dead to me. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend. It's fake. You're a BSer. You know, you got what you wanted. You got to get with a beautiful woman and you got to break her down. So congratulations, buddy. You gained nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, I mean, I hope it was worth it for you. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys ever freaking come across some guy named Bacardi that lives in North Carolina, stay away from him because he's full of shit. Okay? You've been warned. All for now. Over and out. I'll be back to update you with my next hiatus soon. Thanks for watching, y'all. All right, bye.